Huntsville. This is News Channel 19 at 6.
The drama in Selmer, Tennessee keeps building.
For the fourth time, Mary Winkler's lawyer said she was getting out. And for the fourth time, she's still behind bars. Thanks for joining us for News Channel 19 at 6. I'm Amy George.
And I'm Jerry Hayes. Despite the efforts of her lawyers, Mary Winkler is still in jail tonight. Greg Privet is in Selmer, Tennessee with our top story this evening. That's where Mary Winkler's defense attorneys held a news conference about an hour ago to explain the situation. Greg, what did they say?
Those lawyers are a little bit frustrated, Jerry. Mary Winkler was supposed to bond out of the McNairy County, Tennessee jail on Wednesday. It didn't happen then. It also didn't happen on Thursday. It didn't happen Friday. And again, it didn't happen today. Now, tomorrow should be the charm, according to Winkler's defense team. This seemingly never-ending delay has nothing to do with Mary Winkler, but with a bond company picked by her family. According to records, Williams Bonding failed to make good on a $10,000 bond back in 1999. Circuit Judge Weber McGraw wants to make sure that company pays up if Winkler skips out on her $750,000 bond, the judge being careful that McNairy County, Tennessee isn't left holding the bag. Meanwhile, Mary Winkler's father, Clark Freeman, has been here all 4 days, sitting alone for hours, waiting for his daughter to get out of jail.
He's not counting on anything until she walks out the door. He is by this time used to other obstacles raising their heads. Mary is of the same opinion. She was ready to go today if everything was in order and understood that it may take another day.
Whatever the judge requires is what's going to happen. The bondsman and bonding company need to pass review. We understand that, and the judges are doing their due diligence.
Today, a representative from Williams Bonding paid that $10,000 overdue bond. Judge McGraw, along with Judge Joseph Walker, are looking over everything just to make sure everything's correct. Mary Winkler's probation order has already been signed. She will be getting out of jail, and she could walk out of the McNairy County, Tennessee jail possibly as early as 8:30 tomorrow morning. Reporting live in Selmer, Tennessee, Greg Privet, News Channel 19.
Hundreds of volunteers are continuing their search for a missing hunter deep inside the Bankhead Forest. 73-year-old Ray Llewellyn was reported missing by family Friday afternoon when he failed to return home from a scouting trip for wild boar. The truck Llewellyn was driving was found along County Road 63 in Lawrence County. For nearly 72 hours now, search and rescue volunteers have covered 1,500 acres of harsh terrain looking for Llewellyn. Family members say it's unlikely he became lost in the forest because he had hunted that area for years. Despite the rough conditions, officials say the search will continue.
As long as we have people wanting to search, we have searchers available, we intend to stay here.
More than 300 volunteers have showed up around the clock to help find the missing man. A convicted cop killer will be staying behind bars. Danny Ray Tucker was denied parole this morning. He's in prison for killing Crossville police officer Stevie Thompson in September of 1986. Tucker was riding in the passenger seat of a car when Officer Thompson pulled that car over for a traffic stop. As Thompson tried to arrest Tucker for public intoxication, there was a struggle for the gun, and Thompson was killed. Because of technicalities in the case, Tucker couldn't be convicted of capital murder. That's why he was eligible for parole. Thompson's widow was among those requesting the board deny Tucker's parole.
Don't have to tell you the area around Huntsville is growing at a rapid pace, but on streets like Jeff Road, new schools, restaurants, and housing developments all have put a strain on local traffic. Jeff Road is just one of many places where there's not enough road space for all of those vehicles. And Winchester Road, of course, wasn't built to handle heavy amounts of traffic, but after new housing developments and new commercial construction moved into the area, heavy traffic there is a regular problem. So is there any relief down the highway for drivers? News Channel 19's Amber Stewart is live on Winchester Road to answer that question. Amber?
Jerry, there is some relief in sight, and it could start in the next few months. Widening Winchester Road from Valhalla Cemetery all the way down to this intersection behind me here at Moores Mill Road. But that won't be enough to solve all the problems.
For sale signs for homes and new neighborhoods, new shopping centers, a recipe for traffic on a road already congested.
It's a dangerous road.
Cindy Fritz lives in a new neighborhood off Winchester Road.
On a daily basis, Winchester is horrible. They speed, they tailgate, and there's no place to even pull off if, you had to step on your brakes or anything.
Cindy Fritz would like to see the road widened to 4 lanes plus a turning lane.
Even if you have your turn signal on and you go to turn into a store, you just take a chance.
If Madison County can get federal funding, there's a chance the road will be widened. But right now, there's only funding for the first phase from Valhalla Cemetery to the Moores Mill intersection. Madison County Commissioner Roger Jones says they are working every day to get funding for the second phase, which would cost $17 million. Right now, though, the money isn't there.
The second phase of the widening road project would go from this intersection at Moores Mill Road all the way down to Bell Factory Road, and that is the area that is major congested from all the new development coming on Winchester Road. Reporting live in Madison County, Amber Stewart, News Channel 19.
Folks around the Pinhook Creek area in Huntsville may be able to put aside their flooding fears. Today, State Representative Bud Kramer presented a check to the city of Huntsville to help fund a channel in the creek and increase flood protection for downtown Huntsville. The creek is near the Von Braun Center and has flooded several times in the last few years. Do you know who you're voting for governor of Alabama? Election day is more than 2 months away, but as News Channel 19's Lisa Washington shows us, the negative ad campaigns are already hitting the airways.
What do we know about Lucy Baxley?
Last week, this political ad campaign hit Alabama airwaves. Supporters of Bob Brawley for governor claim his Democratic opponent, Lieutenant Governor Lucy Baxley, is too liberal.
She's just too liberal. Too liberal, too liberal.
7 times in the 30-second spot, the word liberal is used.
He's using a very standard Republican ploy of rolling out the liberal boogeyman.
UAH professor Dr. Clark Roundtree says it's surprising the governor would air a negative ad.
It seems to me that Baxley's campaign hasn't gotten off the ground yet, and this may be unnecessary. So why do it?
Lieutenant Governor Baxley responded to the ad. She says being called liberal by someone who proposed the largest tax increase in Alabama's history is like being called fat by a hog.
Dr. Roundtree says usually when the economy is good and there are no major issues, rather than focus on policy, the candidates will attack their opponent's character.
This is a straightforward ad hominem. That's attacking the character of a person. And the problem with an ad hominem attack is it makes the attacker look like a mudslinger, especially if you're the first one out of the gate to start doing that.
And he says this may not be the worst of what will happen before November.
It could get ugly if they can't make the issue something that voters care enough about to come to the polls and vote.
Reporting in Huntsville, Lisa Washington, News Channel 19.
Firefighters for a department in DeKalb County will now be answering calls in style. The A. Fire Department in DeKalb County took possession of a brand new truck over the weekend. That truck cost nearly $200,000. The truck is being paid for through a grant from the Department of Homeland Security. It is the only national preserve in Alabama, but a lot of people don't know much about Little River Canyon. In fact, it seems the only time you ever hear about it is when somebody falls from the bluffs. But there are plans to change that and bring more money to North Alabama. News Channel 19's Carson Clark is live.